Okay, hi everybody. Behind the camera, the voice you're hearing, this is Zach Rosen from The New Gay here in Washington, D.C. We are outside the Black Cat with Bianca Cassidy from CocoRosie. So Bianca, how are you doing?
Pretty well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We don't probably have a lot of time. I appreciate the time you're giving me. So, as blunt as this might sound, how do you actually identify in terms of kind of orientation and gender identity? I don't want to get that wrong to start off the interview.
Well, I spent a lot of my teenage years identifying as gay, and kind of endured that. And I guess as I get older, I kind of disinherit a lot of the terminology, you know. But I think because of my past and sort of what I went through, I kind of, regardless of who I'm dating, it still kind of makes sense for me to identify as gay, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm fond of the queer label myself, 'cause no matter who you're dating, you can always be queer.
Yeah, I like that. I like the queer thing. I mean, it's always nice to be a part of something that's anti-conservative. You know.
Yeah. No, yeah, especially, I've read other interviews with you saying that people tend to just not notice how gender nonconformist you can be in your videos and in your press materials. Well, the first thing I'll ask about is the cover of Grey Oceans, where you're wearing a beard. Can you tell me a little about the origins of that?
Well, actually, we kind of, we started to fashion ourselves after elemental beings, fairies and gnomes, kind of a post-human sort of style, where gender rules don't apply in the same way necessarily, where facial hair isn't particularly explanatory of one's gender. It's more of it's more of an adornment, or just a sort of evidence that we're returning more and more to nature and sort of becoming more a part of the landscape. So it's kind of getting beyond a lot of the gender lines that humans are having to deal with.
It's always appreciable. And with, as visibly as you have been kind of trying to blur gender lines, why do you think it is that you haven't gotten more attention from the queer press?
I don't know. I guess, even though, you know, obviously females are really bearing the brunt of thousands of years of patriarchy, I found that male sexuality is what's really suffering in these days. And if you find a sort of like a man with a sort of obscure gender, or male to female transgender person, it's really uncomfortable societally and gets a lot of attention. And I think, and I've just seen when women are doing the same kind of thing, it's pretty much ambiguous, which is what really became apparent to me, seeing other people really suffer. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's the invisibility of the females still in some way. I don't know. It's kind of wrong.
Do you think people are more comfortable, as you're saying, with someone like you in a mustache than they are with, say, Anthony Hegarty?
Definitely.
Do you think there's a big kind of trans or gender non-binary community or visibility in contemporary indie rock?
I don't know really what's happening in music, but in major cities, I think, like, gender's becoming very ambiguous in a lot of the creative scenes, which are sort of dominating and influencing the world, especially like dance. You know, you take sort of the Vogue community, which is stronger in New York, but sort of spreading to a lot of different places, and it's like infiltrated television and everything. It's really dominated by transsexuals, and I don't know, things are kind of breaking down very recently. I feel like.
Is that where tranny power comes from?
Yeah, kind of. It kind of comes from there. For us, for a while, we really got into the idea of, you know, we took the tranny aspect and focused on the transition quality of it, and it's not just about being transitioning between genders, but also like between lifetimes or between states.
Between elements, maybe?
Yeah, between elements, between a lot of things, and really embracing this idea of being in a constant transition, and you know, finding that very empowering.
Okay, cool. And have you got a positive feedback from the trans community, or are you aware of one?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure these days.
Yeah, who is? Well, I have you two really quick musical questions, just out of curiosity. There's childhood elements throughout Grey Oceans that I've noticed, especially in Lemonade and Hopscotch. Just anything you want to say about kind of the themes of childhood throughout the album?
I think you can find it in all of our albums. And as a writer, I delve a lot into childhood, and I'm very intrigued by the subconscious, the sort of unresolved things. And I like to recover the more uncomfortable memories. And, so that's kind of our way of working them out, is embracing them in our music, and I think that's also a sort of common ground for us as sisters, is the more impressionable things that happen very early on.
So is the father figure in Lemonade actually correspond to your father? As annoying a question as that might be.
Yeah, no, it's that song in particular is it's probably the most literal, autobiographical kind of song on the record, for sure. Yeah.
So your dad actually was shooting rabbits, taking drives?
We were actually shooting the rabbits, driving very underaged, and our father made us skin the rabbits and eat them.
Sorry, just as the motorcycle went by, you said skin the rabbit and eat it?
Yeah.
To clarify.
Yeah, I was about 5 years old, I think, and I was cleaning the rabbit in the sink, and it was really difficult for me. But
well, that sounds horrifying.
It's horrifying, but looking back, I appreciate the whole circle of the lesson, you know, killing it and dealing with it and eating it, and kind of seeing the whole thing through, you know.
It's also cool because that's not the way a lot of people would treat their female children.
Yeah.
You know, they'd shelter them from things like that. Is that?
Yeah, we didn't have any. There was no female or no consideration of gender or age. I was the youngest of 8 kids, and yeah, I was pretty much just treated like the rest.
Okay, I was gonna ask where kind of the sense of world weariness in your music came from, and that probably just answered itself.
Yeah, I think so.
Anything else you want to say to everyone before I stop harassing you in this alley with this video camera?
Message to the world. That's always really hard.
And you're going to be held to this forever. Just joking.
No, well, I guess I have nothing else to say.
That's fair. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.